again. You look around the central hub as Cassandra already begins to make her way to your first destination, waving at you to follow. It might be a small ship, you think, but now would be the perfect opportunity to learn its layout and familiarize yourself with where you'll be spending your current duty. Plus, you admit, it wouldn't hurt to meet all the crew. Better to get to know them sooner rather than later. Alright, the crew. Now let's hope it doesn't do the anime thing of having like 1 million women. It's so that I can... Because I only have like a few female voices I can do. Anyway. And even then, like, arguably I can't. Let's talk to Cassandra somewhere. Yeah, it's kind of funny now that I think about it. What is? There is called the Central Hub, but to be honest, the only places you can get it to straight away from here are the airlocks, sickbay, or the bridge. Well, it's right in the middle of the ship, so it connects everything together via the 2 thoroughfares, right? Kind of, but if you want to get to engineering to do some mechanical work, you've got a long way to go. You've got a long way to go that way. Then if you want to do pretty much anything else, you've got to go the other way. The 4-side thoroughfare is way more of a hub, since you can get to all sorts of places really quickly. Get some snacks from the mess hall to take back to your quarters, easy. If you want a quick soda whilst talking, audits... Yeah, that's audits. Whilst taking audit in the hangar, you're there and back in no time. They should move the bridge to the front of the ship. And I'm pretty sure the bridge is located in the place that makes the most sense for the functioning of the... It sounds to me like you just want a vending machine on the bridge. Hey, that's not a bad idea! But still, it's a long way to get to the other end of the ship, no matter where you're going from. How would you solve that problem? Get some wormholes involved? I don't think we've got the budget for that. Maybe change the shape of the ship so the center is really the center? It's space, so you could make it a really efficient shape, like a cube or something. Cube? Well, that wouldn't be... Well, I was gonna say that wouldn't be aerodynamic, but I don't think aerodynamics are really that much of a factor in space travel. A cube? I guess it could be efficient, but I don't think anyone would take a cube-shaped ship seriously. Yeah. Like, who are we? The Borg? Okay, let's start with the sickbay. It's right here. The elevator doors hiss open, and you both step out into a wide open room. You're immediately struck by the glare of the high-powered lights that are set into the ceiling, and just as you regain your vision, the powerful aroma of clinical disinfectant burns at your nostrils. Looking around, you see the standard features of a sickbay. A set of beds that extrude from the wall on one side, and a large gallery window set into the wall on the other, indicating the presence of a surgery wing. The walls are lined with cupboards and cabinets, containing medical supplies, and various devices sit on the countertops. In the middle of the room is a large desk set to face the entrance. On the side closest to you are 2 chairs, and on the other sits a figure that you almost mistake for a piece of medical equipment until they look up. Miss Quinn, excellent timing. I've just finished the analysis of your... Hey Doc, don't worry about that right now. I'm giving a tour to our new security officer. Very good, Miss Quinn. Hello, Lieutenant Craft. I'm the ship's doctor, Sophia Rosarium. I've reviewed your file already, so please feel free to stop by with any complaints. But since you're here, Miss Quinn, I'd really like to talk about your gastro... Honestly, Doctor, it's fine. We can talk about it. Intestinal... Doctor, later! Distress. Okay, Doctor, a moment, please. Honey, if you could give me a few moments with the doctor, that'd be great. Yeah, no problem. Cassandra grabs the doctor by his sleeve and drags him over to the surgery wing, yanking him through behind her. Once the door closes, you can't hear them, but you can still see the two through the gallery window. You decide to turn your attention away and examine a nearby poster on space illnesses. Space illnesses? Well, I guess it's conceivable there could be like some sort of real extremism organisms, like some microbacteria or something that could survive in space, and you could... Or, I mean, I guess, too, if we've colonized several planets, then they probably get their own different, like, evolved diseases. that you probably have to worry about when jumping between them. Yes, thank you, Doctor. I understand. So that includes any synthetic meats or carbohydrates. Understood! But as I've explained, I've got a full supply of NutriShake powders that should serve as a balanced replacement for the meals from the food vendor and should alleviate your... Doctor! Tummy troubles. This tour is moving on. Well, I mean, I'd like to look around first, though. Well, actually, I mean, he already basically described the room, right? So, let's just see. All those cupboards and cabinets are jam-packed with different medical supplies, tools, nutritional supplements, and so on. I guess it's good to have it all on hand. Those beds are for patients who need to stay in sickbay for whatever reason. All the monitors behind them are to display patients' vital statistics. It's rare you'll see one used. That portion of the sickbay is separated off for surgical procedures. It has its own separate environmental controls and is completely sealed from the rest of the ship when in use. It also contains robotic assistant units. It's state-of-the-art, but you'd still never want to end up in there. Okay. Use that. I can think of a few better places to go relax than down here. That's fair. Alright, let's get a move on. Back to the central hub. Where to next? I guess we could go to the airlock. And this is the main airlock. It's the main way to get on and off the ship when it's docked. Thanks, but I've already been here. Oh, really? When? Well, I did come on the ship while it was docked, so... Actually, I think I'm confusing it with somewhere else. What else can you tell me? Well, it's got one of the best views on the ship, for one thing. You look around but can't see any windows. You wouldn't expect to on a military vessel where an inclusion like that could compromise the structure. Here. Really? Yeah, really, check it out. Cassandra strides over to the terminal set into the wall next to the airlock hatch and quickly begins typing commands into it. You hear a sequence of beeps, and she stands back, gesturing proudly to the screen. Don't open the airlock? Not too bad, huh? You look at the screen, but all you can see is a dark display with a few errant pixels suspended on it. Is that working? Of course it's working, look! You stare a little harder at the screen, and although it takes you a moment, you eventually realize... That's an external feed! That's right, normally you can only actually see out of the Gun-Dog from either the bridge or the hangar. But the ship's covered in small cameras for combat situations. You can access the feeds from the terminals around the ship. That's actually pretty cool. But isn't the view from the bridge or the hangar better? You know, because you're actually looking out? Well, maybe, but there's always someone else around. You never get the view to yourself. You know, it never comes here, and it's so quiet, it's almost like you're out there. I guess I can see what you mean. It's pretty quiet out this way, and with a fancy screen like that, it's basically the real view. I need to understand. Add the command to your terminal access. That way, you can come out here and see the stars whenever you want. Thanks. Okay. And this is obviously the airlock. This is the main crew airlock for crew use. It's used to load and offload basic supplies and equipment. Everything else is brought in through the hangar airlock. Underneath that panel is the manual control for the external airlock hatch, just in case of a mechanical or power failure. I've had to open one as part of a drill before, and it's not easy. Well, you wouldn't want it to be too easy. You don't want that to accidentally get opened. These spacesuits are for emergencies only. Every crew member has an assigned suit that's stored near their main station. These suits here are in the case of evacuation when those stations are inaccessible. Evacuating a spaceship, though, like, that's... I guess there are probably situations where that's preferable, but, like, also... It's got the same issue as, like, evacuating a plane. It's like, okay, evacuate where to? The sky? Evacuate to? Where to? The vacuum of space? Like... And I guess you'd probably, like, evacuate and then send out a signal and hope someone comes by and, like, picks you up. But it's like, ugh. Aside from the fact it controls the airlock, it's a terminal like any other. Although with the silence, I suppose this one's good for getting a relaxing view of the stars. Alright. I guess I can talk to Cassandra while we're here. So, do you come out to the airlock a lot? Define a lot. More than once for coming on board and once for departing? There's nothing wrong with hanging out in the airlock. Never said there was. Sometimes you just need a bit of personal space. On a small ship like this, it's the only place you can really find some time to yourself. Even on a big ship like the Reliance, there's not many places to get away from everyone. I just find it really relaxing to know I'm this close to being out in space. Away from everything. Everyone. Sometimes it feels like I was made to be out there. Not cooped up in here. I didn't know you enjoyed that part of space. For most people, looking out into the expanse for too long triggers a kind of existential dread. I knew a guy from another ship that couldn't bear to look out into space. He started getting the jitters whenever he did. Sometimes if he got drunk on duty, he'd start saying all kinds of weird stuff about how humanity's souls were never meant to be unbound from gravity. I don't know, it's just like there's something out there that's calling me, you know? Well, that's until I'm late for my shift and the captain sends out a ship-wide message telling me to haul ass up to the bridge. Then I know there's something calling me. Alright, let's move. Back to the hub. I just realized we didn't really talk to the doctor in the sickbay. We might as well. Lieutenant, you feeling unwell? No, I'm feeling fine. Have you come to pick up any medication? No, I'm totally alright, thanks. Have you come in for a precautionary checkup? No, nothing like that. Then are you to ask about mechanical elements? What? No, of course not. Oh. Well, in that case, Lieutenant Craft, I'm not sure I can help you today. Don't worry about it. Not much for one for conversation, really. So, I swear, not one for patient-doctor confidentiality. That man is like a laser beam. He gets straight to whatever task is in front of him with no time for things like common courtesy, bedside manner, or privacy. Yeah, I got that impression. Worst part is that after all of that, he tells me I'm allergic to the synthetic elements they use at the mess hall's food vendor. Oh, seems kind of bad. Can you believe I'm on a Nutri-Shake diet between now and when we return to port? I thought those ingredients were supposed to be hypoallergenic. No animal products, suitable for everyone. I know, but the doctor's saying that it's a rare condition that means I react to one of the compounds they use in production. So no more hamburgers for you? But there's one silver lining. What's that? The vending machines use real ingredients. Chocolate and chips are still on the menu. An important part of any balanced diet. Okay. Where to now? I guess we haven't gone through the aft thoroughfare. As the two of you leave the central hub behind you and travel down the aft side thoroughfare, the hum of the engines continues to grow louder. You'd effectively filtered the noise out in the rest of the ship, but as you got closer to the rear of the ship, its volume increases considerably. Are the engines supposed to be that loud? Are the what? I said, are the engines supposed to be that loud? The what? I said, are the engines? I heard you the first time, I'm just messing with you. Could have fooled me. I've never been on a ship where the engines are so noticeable. Is it supposed to be like that? Supposed to? No, not really. But the Gun-Dog is a Swift class, a type of patrol ship that's designed for rapid response. They're made to cover large areas of space quickly and offer basic assistance to ships in distress. That or to the first on the scene to gather intel and issue warnings if anyone comes too close to Jovian space. Which means, design-wise, they've prioritized speed above everything else. I guess the best way to sum it all up is that the Gun-Dog is basically a huge set of engines with a tiny ship strapped to them. Well, that's reassuring. Oh, it's fine. It just means there's no space for systems like motion dampeners or soundproofing. You'll miss it when you leave. Alright, not really much to look at. I guess we can look at this. Down that corridor is the armory, where all the ship's firearms are stored. Normally access has to be granted from the bridge, but since you're the security officer, you've got access coded into your keycard. Makes sense. Anything else I should know about this hall? There is an upside to these vibrations coming from the engines. Oh yeah? Check this out. You watch as Cassandra crouches down, takes out a pen from a pocket, and lays it on the floor. As soon as she removes her hand, it begins to slowly edge away from her, moved by the vibrations carried through the ship. Ta-da! I mean, that's neat. Not sure I'd say that's useful, though. That's great. I know, right? Back in the Reliant, we used to go to the engine rooms and race stationary on the gangways near the engines. I had a red pen that moved 3 times faster than anything else. 3 times faster, huh? What was it made of? You know it. I can't believe I lost it, though. Oh, hey, what have you got in your pockets? My keycard and a pack of gum. Why? The race is on. First from this panel to that panel, the loser buys us something from the vending machine. Okay, keycard or gum? The question, which one would be more likely? So I'm assuming gum is probably like a little, like, wrapped up little, probably rectangular prism pack unit of gum. The keycard. So the keycard would be, it has more surface area. It's probably, I'd assume, marginally lighter. I'm just trying to think. So if you're, like, probably the keycard is what you want. It maximizes surface area with the ground, which is what's giving you the movement here, thanks to the vibration. And then since it's so light, I think it'll move more effectively than the gum would, necessarily. So I think we gotta go keycard here. Okay, let's go with the keycard. You place your keycard on the floor next to the pen and stand up. A tense 30 seconds follows as the 2 objects slowly jitter their way along the floor, almost neck and neck the entire way. Come on, Bureau, you got this! You can do this, keycard. The sporting event of the century looks like it'll end in a draw, but at the last moment, Cassandra's pen pivots on its axis, allowing your keycard to take the lead and pass over the seam between the floor panel and the other. Ha ha! Alright! Oh man, pen, let me down. Vending machine treat is on you, then. Wait, best 2 out of 3? I don't think so. Let's move on. Well, should check out the armory. That's sort of my domain. You swipe your keycard through the card reader, set into the terminal by the armory's door. Instead of the door opening, as you would expect, you hear a harsh tone from the terminal. Looking at its screen, you see a message displaying in large flashing letters. Access denied, insufficient authority? Looks like your clearance hasn't been fully processed yet. You have to meet the captain before you can get into that room. Okay, oh well. Fair enough. Let's take a look at engineering. As the 2 of you continue through the aft thoroughfare, the thrum of the engines grows louder still. The featureless paneling that has made up the majority of the ship's interior quickly gives way to visible pipes and conduits, and eventually the smooth flooring transitions to grating, revealing more workings underfoot. Finally, the thoroughfare leads into one huge open chamber filled with masses of machinery. Terminal panels set into the side of various apparatus cycle through different readings. The light from the screens reflected off ducts and valves. All this equipment is separated by a grid of catwalks and access ladders. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is right. This is central engineering. Pretty much every system aside from the engines themselves and the central computer can be found in this room. All in one place. Isn't that a little risky? Well, a Swift-class ship relies on an absolutely minimal crew. The Gun-Dog only has 2 engineers. I think they figured it'd be easier on them if everything that was important was kept in one place. That way they don't have to run from one end of the ship to another to get all their repairs done if something goes wrong. Huh. You certainly know a lot about ship engineering. What can I say? I'm a pretty talented individual. Oh yeah? Whilst we're here, you can share some of that knowledge. What's that over there? That's the Pholenic conversion unit. And what's that? Oh, that's the Omni-faceted wing shaft. Uh-huh. What about that? That's the turbo-encabulator? Every day is a school day. I'm head of operations, not chief engineer, okay? I don't need to know what's... Hey, no one better be screwing around up there. You both jump as a stern voice barks at you from below. Looking down through the grating, Looking down, you see through the grating that there's another catwalk situated below the one you're stood on, with a crew member moving at speed towards the ladder that joins the two walkways. I swear, if I find so much of a single terminal readout out of place, I'm stuffing the two of you into the organic processing system. I have to retrieve one more pen from behind the compressors. The crew member continues to grumble as they ascend. Okay.
Quinn, you better not be here to tell me that your favorite pen has somehow fallen into the system block again.
No, Chief. Got it right here.
Damn straight you do. Now make sure you hang on to that one, or you're gonna need someone to pull you out of the system block instead. And who's this, our wayward security officer? You got a name there?
You quickly throw a sharp salute at the woman in front of you without even checking her rank first. Not only does she loom over you physically, but you quickly pick up on a force of personality that feels like it adds an extra 6 inches to her considerable stature. Lieutenant Craft, security officer for the JFS Gun-Dog, ma'am.
What's that ma'am business, Craft? Name's Mackenzie Cathay. Mackenzie Cathays, chief engineer. That's chief to you.
Yes, Chief.
Damn straight. Now what are you two doing here in the engineering?
I was just giving Lieutenant Craft a tour of the ship, Chief.
That's so. You ever been on a ship before, Lieutenant? First assignments?
Never on a Swift class, Chief. I've only served on strike or supply classes to date.
That's so. Which strike vessel?
The JFS Victory and the JFS Thunderbolt, Chief.
Victory and Thunderbolt, huh? Don't think either of those two are less than 3 years old, so probably wouldn't have seen what the new streamlined distribution systems. I wonder if you would have seen the power cores, though. I think the Victory was part of that production.
You and Cassandra exchange a quick, nervous glance as the Chief, who previously seemed like she was about to physically throw both of you out of the engineering, suddenly begins a conversation with herself. He continues to stand to a nervous attention as she ruminates about ship components. Chief, is there anything I can help you with about those ships?
Oh, huh. Lieutenants, didn't realize you're still here. No, you're off the hook, Craft. Not unless you can tell me whether the Victory was outfitted with the 3rd generation B-Pack upgrades anyway.
Sorry, Chief. Don't think I could.
I wonder if that's because the retrofitting takes into account space availability in the ship's interior for minimal traversal impact. Although maybe it could be that it takes...
I think now would be a good time for us to move on. Good idea. Well, that's all, Chief. We'll just be going now.
Oh yeah, sure. Don't let me catch you screwing around in here again.
Okay. I might want to look around first. There's so much going on in here that I've got no idea what anything is. This could be a waste processing unit, or it could be...
Life support.
Oh, sorry, Chief. What was that?
This unit's part of the life support system. To be exact, this pod is an assessment center of sorts. It continuously samples the atmosphere on board the ship to ensure that it's at an optimum level to keep us all alive.
Oh, huh. What's that? There's so much machinery in here. If what Cassie says is true, and that's all the ship's systems are packed in here, it could be anything. It's certainly giving off a lot of heat, though.
That's the power distribution model.
Oh, Chief, it's you. What is it?
The power distribution model. We're situated above the Gun-Dog's main reactor, and this is the system which distributes the power to all the ship's various systems.
Oh, is that... Right. And there's the door to engines. That door leads to one of the ships.
Engine rooms! There's another room on the other side of the ship. It's not exactly an efficient layout when you're running tests on the systems, but it's what I thought would work best in terms of keeping us swift compact.
Oh, well, thanks, Chief. Cassandra's not happy about getting interrupted. Nor would I be, I suppose. Alright, let's head to engines. The two of you watch from around a corner as Chief Cathays, continuing to mutter to herself, paces back and forth, checking terminal readouts and various displays. Eventually, she heads down the ladder that she'd climbed to confront you. Now out of sight, Cassandra darts towards the engine room, gesturing you over. Checking over your shoulder in case the chief has reappeared, you make your way to her, just in time for the doorway to the engine room to open and Cassandra to disappear inside before you can raise an objection. Well, it's gotta be better than staying here with the chief. Ooh, it looks cool. The room you find yourself in is a similar size to the area you just left, but whilst that was crammed full of a huge range of machinery, this room is almost entirely filled by one colossal cylindrical device. The pulse of the engine is now a tangible sensation as the vibrations it emits shake your whole body. So this is the main engine, well, one of them anyway. Like Chief said, the ship's outfitted with 2 of these. I see what you meant now when you said the Gun-Dog's a huge set of engines with a ship strapped to them. This thing's massive. I know, I look at it and I feel like you could probably fit the rest of the ship in this room. If the engine weren't there, that is.
That's because it's impossible to get the Higgs field distortion drive any smaller.
Chief!
Oh, Chief, I know you said that, So these engines are actually a combination of nuclear pulse engines built around a Higgs field distortion drive. If the HFDD wasn't there, this engine could be about 10 times smaller than it is. Well, I hear they've managed to improve the efficiency of newer NPs, so it's possible that the space saving could be more like 11 times smaller. Can either of you tell me how an HFDD works?
HFDD?
Higgs field distortion drive. What are they teaching you at the academy?
Higgs field distortion drive. I mean, does it warp space-time?
It's a drive that allows the ships to move far beyond speeds allowed by conventional engines, although it's nowhere near as faster than light. So it lets us get around the solar system without needing to worry whether we'll live long enough to see the end of the journey. Anyway, everyone knows about the existence of the Higgs field. It's what allows interactions with the Higgs boson that gives particles their mass.
Oh, right.
So the drive does is warp the field relative to the ship and those on board. By doing this, it displaces the mass to a different area of space, but within the same relative.
Oh, so it does warp space-time. Huzzah, I was right. As the chief continues on with her explanation, you glance at Cassandra and see a thinly veiled look of terror on her face. You can't blame her, as you feel much the same way, caught in this impromptu lecture.
Then, because the particles retain their relationship with each other, the general perception is that things are the same as normal. However, from an exterior perspective...
The lecture drags on, and you quickly lose track of the chief's explanation. Although you recognize the words she's saying, you can no longer make sense of the context, and they come to seem like a meaningless string of sounds.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the field is it's got the mass, which is pushed.
No! How to put it? Okay, so imagine that space is a ketchup packet, and you're the sauce.
The sauce.
Right, the sauce! Now, what the distortion drive does is it's like a thumb on the universe of that packet. It moves the sauce around by changing the shape of the packet to push the sauce.
The packet is the universe, we're the sauce, and the drive is a thumb.
You've got it!
You quickly glance back to Cassandra and meet her eyes as she's got the same thing. You know for certain that neither of you have got it.
And that's why these engines have to be so big, to house all that drive.
Oh, it all makes sense now. I see, yes, definitely.
Great, well now that you appreciate the science behind it, I won't have to throw you out of here.
Thanks, Chief.
Anytime, just remember, Lieutenants.
Yes, Chief.
Screw with anything and I'll throw you out of the airlock instead.
Yes, Chief.
Sauce?
Like, I don't think we need to talk to the chief again. We could talk to Cassandra, yes. So we're the sauce. Right. And the universe is the packet. I thought that the field was the packet. But then is the field the universe, or is the universe in the field? We're going to have some very theoretically challenging meal times. I can look. One of the ship's 2 engines. Apparently it's that big because it's a combination of a standard nuclear pulse engine and a Higgs field distortion drive. I think I almost lost consciousness when the chief was explaining it to me. Well, is there anything else we would like to look at? No, the engine's the only thing of note in the engine room, of course. Back to engineering. Okay, but really, when Chief said we shouldn't screw around in here, she's right. We should probably get moving. What did you do? Why would you say that? Really, though, what did... Who the hell dropped a chocolate bar? Who the hell dropped the chocolate bar into the secondary moisture converter? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's melted into the outlet valve. I'll kill them. Yeah, okay, yeah, let's go, let's go. To the central computer. You swipe your key card through the key reader, or the card reader, set into the terminal by the door leading to the central computer. The door doesn't open, and instead you hear a harsh tone from the terminal, which is now displaying an error message. Looking at its screen, you see a message displayed in large flashing letters. Access denied, insufficient authority? Oh, even with your security clearance, you won't be able to go into the main computer room. Because the staff is so small, the ship's computer handles a lot of tasks that would normally be done by the crew. It controls a lot of really sensitive functions, so only the captain and the operations team are allowed to access. Oh, I don't think any of the ships I've been on have had a computer system like this. The bigger ships usually have their computing distributed amongst multiple systems across the ship. But because they've also got larger crews, there's more that the people on board are responsible for. I think that because the Swift class is so small, there's such a limited crew, they need to assign more functionality to the computer. Because of that, it's a lot more vital that no one screws around with it. I see. You said that operations have access. Can we take a look using your authority? Well, since the whole reason I'm here is that I didn't exactly take my responsibilities with the Reliance computer systems seriously. Well, the captain's told me not to mess around with it. Ah. But it's not that interesting anyway. I'll take your word for that. Let's get out of here. Okay. And now, we could go to the Foresight thoroughfare. But I guess we've already explored almost the entire ship. As you head away from the central hub, the noise from the engine becomes quieter and the ambient temperatures feel noticeably cooler. The thoroughfare stretches out in front of you, with doorways leading to other areas of the ship visible in the distance. And here we are in the Foresight thoroughfare. I know, I went to my quarters early when I came aboard. She's shocked by this. What did you just say? Foresight thoroughfare? No, I don't think he did. I 100% said Foresight thoroughfare. It's a tricky thing to say, alright? You try saying it quickly. Foresight thoroughfare, Foresight thoroughfare, Foresight thoroughfare. Haha, yourself. We'll call this one a draw, Lieutenant. Foresight thoroughfare, Foresight thoroughfare, Foresight thoroughfare, Foresight thoroughfare. Dang it! Okay. I guess. Oh, there's more. Let's start with the hangar. It's the closest. As the two of you head down the Foresight thoroughfare and away from the crew quarters, Cassie stops by a double-sized doorway and runs her keycard through the reader next to it. Watch your step! She instructs, tapping her knuckles on a large warning sign next to the door that reads, Low Gravity Zone. Once the door opens, she heads through, and you follow her into a wide stairwell. It only takes 2 sets of steps before you can feel yourself growing lighter. By the time you reach the doorway at the bottom, you're almost floating. Stepping into the hangar and onto the catwalk, The first thing that strikes you are the profiles of the two armored frames stood as if on guard, facing into the main area of the hangar. Although you fully expected to see them here, every Jovian ship features at least a few, the sight of the armored frame stirs uncomfortable memories in you, and you inadvertently grit your teeth and squeeze the handrails you've grabbed tightly. Right. Ma'am, they're firing on us! So many of them! Oh god, ma'am, help! The line of retreat's totally cut off. We can't get back to the ship, ma'am. What do we do? What do we do? Stop panicking and form up. 3 and 4 on me. We're going to punch a hole through that formation and... Right. Hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I think it's just the change in gravity level left me a little bit queasy. I know how you feel. I was late for a hangar audit once and rushed down straight after our big lunch. I was moving so fast that with the gravity shift, my stomach contents couldn't keep up. Gross. Tell me about it. I did everything I could to keep my mouth shut. You know the rule for low gravity zones. What you spew is left up to you. I was going too late and on cleanup duty. Speaking of duties, shouldn't there be someone around here? Dalton should be around here somewhere. If you're feeling funny, stay here for a moment and I'll go see if I can find him. Sure. You watch as, despite the 15-meter difference between the catwalk and the hangar floor, Cassie nonchalantly places her 2 hands on the handrail and deftly vaults over it into the emptiness. Thanks to the low gravity, she doesn't fall, but instead kicks off the railing, propelling herself through the air. As Cassandra drifts off, eventually catching on to one of the armored frame's legs and using it to swing herself around to float in a different direction, you place your elbow on the railing and your head in your hand. You turn your attention back to the stoic features on the armored frames' heads and sigh deeply. Your attention is caught by the cockpit hatch on one of the frames being half open. Looking around, you see everything as you'd expect. Armored frame weapon racks, storage containers, various equipment, all of it restrained appropriately and fastidiously arranged. The cockpit hatch is the only thing that breaks that pattern. It's weird, I can't find him anywhere. I know it's definitely his shift right now, so he should be around somewhere. Looking past Cassandra at the armored frame with the ajar cockpit hatch, thought strikes you. I think I might have an idea. Follow me. You carry out the same vaulting maneuver that Cassie had performed and kick off towards the huge machine's cockpit. Once close enough, you grab a hold of its arm and pull yourself up towards the open hatch. A few seconds later, Cassie appears beside you, and you both notice the sound of gentle snoring coming from within the cockpit. Well, Lieutenant Commander, I think this is an operations issue, so I'll let you handle it. Leaving the discipline up to me again, huh? Cassandra nimbly clambers up the armored frame, positioning herself right above the cockpit. Bracing herself on the machine's chest, she brings her heel down sharply and repeatedly on the armor. Cadet Grange, attention! You hear a muffled scream from within the cockpit, followed by a dull thud, a string of muttered cursing, and then finally a figure emerges from the cockpit. Ma'am, I was just checking the calibrations, the calibrations on the app. I got some feedback that. Oh, it's just you, Commander Quinn. Excuse me, just? Is that how you address a superior officer, cadet? Oh, ma'am, no, ma'am, I was not expecting to see you in the hangar, ma'am. Okay, you can tone it down a bit, Dalton. Yes, ma'am. Good enough, I suppose. Anyway, Cadet, this is Lieutenant Craft, Ship Security Officer. Oh, sir, Cadet Dalton Grade, Junior Engineer. Good to meet you, Cadet. Looks like they've got you working hard. Looks like oh no, sir, well, that is, yes, sir, but no, not so hard, I'm falling asleep. No, sir, I was recalibrating the sensor array on the... Take it easy, Cadet. We've all taken a nap in a cockpit in our lives. Well... Of course, we never took cockpit naps with the chief giving us our orders, so you probably need to get back on with whatever you were doing, huh? I totally forgot you. She's gonna kill me. Good kid, right? I feel sorry for him already. Okay. I guess we can look around. Those two armored frames are both Juno models, the workhorses of the Jovian colony fleet's military. They look like they're a newer type than the one I piloted on the Calic. Almost piloted. The main hangar door is typically only used when the ship is docked to bring on board large containers or equipment. On a ship like this, the AFs launch from smaller hatches underneath them. There's also a maintenance airlock somewhere so that the whole hangar doesn't need to be depressured if there's work to be done outside. The hangar is also used to store the various tools and equipment that the engineering team used throughout the ship. A lot of the machinery is used for moving freight or AF equipment around. AF, of course, standing for armored frame, I assume. Most of these crates contain mechanical supplies, spare parts, tools, etc. There's a few that contain all the long life ingredients for the vendmates in the mess hall, and then some that contain various essentials for the crew. On a ship like this, its operations duty to act like a quartermaster, but I've been on some ships where if you're friendly with the hangar crew, they can sneak you out the good stuff. Not that I condone that kind of behavior, obviously. Okay, anyone to talk to? Hey, Cadet, how's it going? Hey there, take it easy, it's just me. Oh, Lieutenant, sorry, I thought you were someone else. What's this crew possibly doing that's got you so jumpy? Oh, it's not the crew, it's just the chief. He really likes the surprise inspection and making sure that I'm working as fast as she expects me to. At least once a day, I think I'll think I'm alone somewhere, and then suddenly, Cadet Dalton reports! Oh my goodness, it's not good for the old heart. I don't know how she does it. I have an eye on the entrance the entire time, and she can still appear from nowhere, man. I think she uses the maintenance ducts. Okay, take it easy. I'm pretty sure it's just us in here. Okay, if you're sure. Anyway, how can I help, Lieutenant? I'm just getting to know the ship and its crew, finding out what they're all about. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So, what are you up to here, Cadet? Oh, I'm actually working on 2 projects at the moment as part of my engineering degree. The first is my own project, a high-density rapid expansion emergency sealant for hull breaches. Oh, that sounds pretty useful. I've been working on a compound that's designed to be released in case of a breach and seal up cracks to prevent atmosphere loss. Sounds pretty impressive. How's it going? Not too well, Lieutenant. I intended it to be used within the ship as a safety measure for the crew. But the tactical officer who oversees my progress back at the academy has instructed me to find a way to weaponize it. He thinks it'd be good for immobilizing enemy AFs. That still seems like it's being put to good use if it's cutting down on casualties, don't you think? I guess so. What's the second? Oh, that's just something I'm working on for the Chief. It's a set of modifications for Juno to increase its mobility in space. Oh, the Chief! Cadet Dalton reports! Oh, ma'am, Chief, yes, Chief, currently in the process of... I think I'll just leave him to get on with it. Wait, where did she come from? Where did she come from, anyways? What else? I can talk to Cassandra. I wish I'd worn my uniform trousers today. What's up? I was thinking we could play low gravity tag or something, but now that Dalton's back up and about, we can't. I don't think he's going to snitch on you anytime soon. That's not what I mean. I don't follow. The way she's glaring at me makes me think perhaps I should follow. Low grav skirts that we're getting out here. Honestly, have you considered the issues of floating around in a skirt? Oh, yeah, just count yourself lucky. I would have kicked your ass. Okay, well, let's get out of here.